Okay, so we can talk about some stuff. It'll be multi-segmented, so I'll go through the counter hit // stuff for right now. I already have videos and examples already here, but it's important to talk about why these are useful. Let's look at the light version. First of all, in the corner, this is a route that most people don't do. So this is going to be drift down, I'm assuming. Yeah. So drift down 5H, okay. You do fast RC drift down, you can cancel with any button, and then you do dash 5H. Now, this is what you would do with any amount of wall damage, except for almost max wall damage. Because it is optimal when there's any wall damage, and normal route with jump dust does not allow you to hit confirm the wall visually if there's any wall damage. So you do this version, which is the max damage, is the same damage as JD, and more on some characters. So you do this version, it's 5H, dash 2K HVV. Now this dash 2K HVV, depending on how far you dash, needs to be card for some characters. Not everyone. Regardless, this is the corner damage you want to cash out on //. And then this is going to be JD comparison. So here, you might be able to see that the wall has damage on it, it'll crack. However, there is no normal you can press to fix the situation afterwards. So that is why the 5D or the 5H version existed. So that's the routing in the corner from // for 50, which I think is important to know. Now, if we head on over, let's see. Let's head over to the mids for round start distance. This is important to know as well. This one might be easier. You might already know it. It is air dash back. It's JD, fast RC, air dash back, dash up close slash, HVV. This one's very, very simple. It's a staple. Understanding the ability to recognize when you can do this and how far away from in mid-screen you can do this is very important. So this is the version you should do almost all the time mid-screen. Now, with your back to the wall, these are routes that are very important to know, understanding the theory for back to the wall. So, on mids and lights, you're going to do H, fast RC H, S, D, S, D. It's slight delay D, and then close slash H. There are some mids that need 2 hits. There'll be 2 hits of this specific JH. You're gonna be 2 hits. This run right here. So you have 2 options. You can use JHD, which allows you less damage and less meter for your opponent. It's more meter for your opponent, less damage though. But it's a little bit more consistent in that you don't have to do this manually timed slight delay to get the close slash. You'll always be able to get the 2K HVV, but sometimes it won't wall break. So you need to do this slight delay, but that's important to know. Versus heavies, however, and axle, you need to do J8, a different route, slightly, just slightly. It's not that hard to remember. Versus heavies, you do the same Kara, except it's JH 2 hits, which means you have to immediately go into JD, and then double jump, JS, double 2 hits of JD, JD, 2 hits of JD, and then you do the dash of close slash. This works against heavies, and axle is the only routing change that you need to do for this logic. This also works on 5H for the most part, which is another time to talk about, but that is pretty much the entirety of the changes you need to make. And those are the routing you need to know. When you're slightly further, which is what this Lars Canyon tree distance is, you need to do, basically, you don't have access to the JD route. However, you can just do 1 rep of the non-jump cancel version. So JH, S, D, and you're in the corner. So it's very, very simple, very, very straightforward. This is your // routing from counter hit 50 bar. That is what it is for now. Next, we're going to move on to 5H counter hit. We'll start with heavies when they're back to the wall. This is important routing to know. I think for 50 beater, it does so much damage with risk. Even in these situations with no risk, it does a fuck ton of damage, and it's important to cash out, in my opinion. Depending, obviously, on how much meter you're going to build your opponent, the situation that'll follow. If the 5H, you 2-touch them with the 50 bar on the next mix, like, you end up with a normal knockdown. Regardless, Kara DP, video encoder died. HD, much like the // counter hit theory, it follows the same pattern in that regard for heavies, lights, mids. You'll see in a minute. AH2D, run up close slash, HVV 6S. This is the staple for 5H with your back to the wall. This is going to be pretty much the staple versus heavies. It's not hard to execute. And now let's take a gander at the mids version. Mid's version, only difference is going to be your choice. Much like the far slash, it's H, S, D, S, slight delay, D. Close slash, HVV. Because the close slash, they popped up higher, you should be able to break the wall with Fafnir. Yes, you break the wall with Fafnir here. You can just take success, it's fine, but it's possible. Now, it's the same routing for lights, but I'll show you anyways. 5H, close slash, car HVV, fast RC JH, JS, JD, JS, JD, close slash, HVV, Fafnir. Follows the exact same logic as the far slash. It's important to know though, obviously, that you need to be able to do these. It's just a lot of damage. So for the corner combo, meterless, you have this. This works on everyone but Leo, and only Leo. Okay, ignore 5H, revolver, CS, 5H, slight micro dash. Very important to get this slight micro dash, okay? If you're out of range or you mess up this micro dash, you won't be able to get this follow-up. 6S, revolver, delay slightly, 5K, this is gonna be 2 hits, car HVV. I'll play it back, but this is your max damage meterless while breaking the wall. It builds the most bar, obviously, as well. It's your best combo. Only doesn't work for Leo. This micro dash, super important. Things that can happen with this micro dash. If you miss this micro dash, this 6S revolver, the 5K2 will whiff. You still can confirm into breaking the wall by doing 5K 6S gunflame or whatever, but it's obviously not going to be optimal. Now, for metered versions, this is where it gets real fancy. Okay, we'll start with lights. Okay? Now, lights. You have many choices with 5H counter hit for mids and lights. Now, choosing your execution is up to you. First lights, you have the easiest, which is fast RC, JD, HVV, then 5K jump HVV. This does the same damage as the hard version, but the hard version also works on mids. It's just important to know, as you'll see, this is the hard version. FRC down, 5K, TK revolver, 5K car DP. This is a staple in many routing now. In many routings off one button, this is going to be your staple. This is super important to learn, which is why knowing that it does the same damage is important. So you can do the exact same routing on the mids and lights and keep it, the same. Now in force mids, there's also one more versus lights. It's the TK HVV version from PRC. It's most prevalent versus mids because the lights have the easy version. It's 5H. You have all day. You can do 5H, wait all the way BRC, and then close slash, lowest height TK HVV, and it still combos into the 5K relaunch. So it's important to know that this exists. 5K, revolver, 5K, car DP, 6S. This will do the exact same damage as the FRC down version, as you see. But again, pick your execution. Do you want to do TK revolver or do you want to do TK HDP lowest? It's up to you. Now, lastly, we have the 5H counter hit on heavies in the corner. Nothing fancy here, just close slash. Oh, ignore that. Smoge. Close slash. Guard DP. Neutral drift. H, D, close slash. HEV, Fafnir. You don't get much fancy on heavies, unfortunately. But it's still a sizable chunk of damage. It's very good. And that's pretty much what you're going to be doing to cash out for 5H. Mid-screen, it follows the far slash logic. You do JD, air dash JD. It's the same thing. Keeping on the path of the theory for the far slash counter hits and the 5H counter hits, we have the 2S crouching counter hit, which you might not see a lot of souls do this yet. However, it is consistent despite hard and very powerful because it allows soul on crouching targets from the 2S counter hit to get clean HVV, utilizing dash macro on frame 2 and on. Now, it's a tight window because it won't clean hit if you do dash car revolver as fast as possible. So you have to delay it slightly to get the clean hit. However, the routing, similar to far slash counter hit, is the same on mids lights. Heavies, the routing differs a little bit. So you're going to see the JD, air dash back JD, close slash HVV. This is very normal, as you'd expect from the mid range that I've shown. Now we have the back to wall version. The back to wall version, similar as far slash confirm, HSDSD. Then to delay, you can get a Fafnir here. I suggest just going for 6S, but Fafnir is possible here. And then you have the heavies version. Heavies version is different than the far slash counter hit counterpart because you don't have to do HD. You can do HSD, SD with no delays. And it works on heavies. And you just take your success and move on with your merry way. So this is the 2S crouching version. It's same for lights as it is for mids. Nothing needs to be done too fancy, but it is worth learning this because obviously your 2S counter hit damage goes skyrockets, being able to clean hit DP. You get Oki, and you get safe jumps, etc. from having clean hit versus just your 6S revolver. It's very, very important to learn this versus crouchers. It's very confirmable. All right, next I want to talk about a little bit, I posted this on Twitter, about backstepping throws. Okay, there is a route that allows you to swap sides that is very good. However, it is very different on many of the casts, so I currently don't do it. I think this is fine enough. It pretty much goes the whole screen. The only thing is you don't break the wall for positive. I mean, it's worth learning. I might include it in my next segment where I talk. But for now, we'll talk about what happens if you backstep a throw. Backstep a throw, you have a lot of options. But the one I choose to go for is CS5D. 5D, then you do the car revolver, and then 5k car DP into manually timed safe jump. This safe jump isn't actually hard to get. For the most part, it's approximate 1 length dash into IEDJH. And then, as you let the video play, you can kill them off it's 2-touch, no matter what. It's a 2-touch if they DP into it, obviously. Or they throw and you shimmy their throw, it's a 2-touch. Now, it's the same thing on pretty much every character. Some characters, like the heavies, will get hit by 5k2, but they will also be able to be comboed by 5k1. This is just me doing, you can kill them in almost so many ways. I just chose to do a 2k car HVV combo for whatever goddamn reason. Same, you'll see Leo gets comboed by 5k1, even though that 5k2 would still hit and do more damage, you can keep it uniform. And then he's dead as well, obviously. It builds the bar, he's dead to the super, you 2-touch everybody. So backstepping throw, this 5D version is very, very consistent. It goes corner to corner practically. I don't know what the second one is. Oh, it's showing that 5k2 also combos. It just does more damage. It's very, very good. The side swap one definitely has merit, and I will definitely talk about it. But for the most part, you don't need to know about it to this degree. I think this routing, this theory of understanding charge 5D is very important to punishes in many places on the screen. Now, I uploaded this Twitter video. As you see, it's in very low quality. And I can talk about a little bit about the routing because, I uploaded this, haha, Cloud Farm, funny music, do funny combo. But I can talk about the reasonable routing choices in this video. So let's see the first one. It's going to be DP punishes versus chip. Dash under, close slash TK HVV, probably unreasonable. But there's still stuff to highlight, okay? You can just do this route. If this is just a DP punish in the opposite situation, this works. Close slash, 5k, CS, HVV. CS, HVV only works if it's off the lowest. But he's dead, of course. Now, further out, we have, this is also 5D routing. And since it's 5D, again, yes, it's further, it works from further, yes, we got that. 5D routing is important for DP punishes. And a lot of people leave a lot of table. They'll do close slash, dash close slash HVV. And that's not damage. It really isn't. When you have stuff like this. This is way better. Way better. This is character specific. Not just chip, but it's weight class specific. But stuff like this exists from just JD. We got to the corner with utilizing car revolver, right? We utilized car revolver here to get the height to do this 5k dash 5k jump dust. Now, even if this jump dust didn't work, you could do 5k dash 5k car HDP, and it would clean hit and hit it for about probably 280, 290, and lead to a hard knockdown with him in the corner and not breaking the wall. And that's great. So we should look for that and look to learn from that. But regardless, that's still some good routing. What do we have? We got mid-screen now. It's going to be CS, probably 5D, dash 5k, JD. Oh no, we went for the other one. This also works because the 5k one keeps the wall HP relatively healthy. You can do this. I think from that exact spacing, you can actually just do JD, air dash JD. But again, he whiffed, and sometimes you'll get accidental dash under. That's where this comes from. And then we're going to use, if you get the accidental dash under, you can do 5k, into the car revolver. Then your JD. All of that nonsense. Let's look at it real quick again. Dashed under, 5k. Recognize that you were too far. You do your car revolver, 5k, JD, billion damage. Now this is in the corner punishes. This is a version Mame posted. Mame does. I don't do this version because particularly I have a hard time doing the dash running HVV to get this height versus the close slash, which is more consistent for me. But regardless, they're omega dead. So you can learn either version if you'd like. They're super dead. The version I do is this one. Close slash, lowest HVV, 5k success, CS. Yep. Omega edge. Lastly, with a throw of wall damage, you still can bombo them. Close slash. Yep. Revolver. Yep. 5k1. Tyrant kills. So I use Tyrant. You wouldn't be able to kill without Tyrant. But it built the bar from the throw and the thing, so you're building the bar. Now, this just wanted to highlight the potential ways to punish DP and the potential routing off 5D, because I realized I hadn't talked about it, and I didn't plan on talking about it. I don't want to make the video ultimately too long. It's a lot of work to do all of the things. I'll probably make more segments and talk specifically about the nuance in certain situations, but for now, I wanted to show off that. There's so many things on my Twitter that is relatively important to talk about. Like, am I really going to talk about this situation? The Fafnir shimmy? I do the Fafnir shimmy a lot. I literally do it a fuck ton. But, like, you don't need to know this. And you don't need to. It's just very, very, very good. There's a bunch of stuff on my Twitter that you don't need to know to play Soul. And do a fuck ton of damage. But they are good to know. They are just good to know. Alright, briefly returning to throw countermeasure. Let's do the Ventus Classic. Let's show it off. I've shown this off many, many times. People still don't do it. You gotta get it in your hands. It's amazing. It's actually so good. Let's just roll the clip. Classic fuzzy jump versus Leo 5k, okay? He whiffs the throw, falling JD, close slash, JD, CS, HVV, okay? Breaks the wall, side swaps. You don't even, you could just end in HVV instead and keep the corner, but obviously, first Leo in this case, you probably want to reset, get positive. Landing on someone and doing JS, Vortex, 5k-5k car HVV is fine, but it's a lot of damage lost. You lose out on positive bonus. Soul can really, really, really benefit from stuff like this to use for metered things such as this clip that's coming up right now. This clip is back to wall. It's one of my trials, actually. It's back to wall BRC. I use this a lot when I expect throw or if I want to check people whiffing buttons. For instance, Soul far slash 5H. If I backdash that frame trap, and I backdash BRC it, I can punish it. This is something similar. You react to the situation, and if they miss their meaty, or they meaty correctly, and you backdash it, you can take advantage of the situation. You backdash BRC, you double jump over when you recognize they whiff the throw, and then you hit your bombo. The TK HVV, since this is Leo, and it's a heavy, you have to do this jump cancel route. If not, you would do the other routes for TK HVV, which is stuff like 5k, 6s, revolver, close slash or 2k, into HVV, breaks the wall, you know? So this is very, 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 very strong. This is a trial, in which I realized I could just use my trials. See, backdash BRC versus throw punish. It's important to know things like this. If this ever occurs in a match, the round is essentially over. They're dead, and it's not particularly hard. It's counter hit close slash into what is basically lowest HVV. It's a consistent timing. There's no reason to not learn it. It is guaranteed getting a burst if they have it. They're super, super, super dead, no risk. Briefly talking about my signature, this is what I do a lot. It's not a mix-up. It's really not, okay? If you FD the close slash, Soul cannot do a low without maximum run momentum. And that's the unfortunate reality. But sometimes you'll hit people with tap dust. And this is what happens when you hit them with tap dust. There's plenty of risk involved here, but just know it does 300 approximately versus lights with just a close slash of risk. They're dead many times over. They're dead many, many, many times over. A large majority of the time. So let's go over it briefly. It is close slash, tap dust, hit confirm, PRC, slight weight, CS, lowest TK HVV, 5k, and then depending on the character, jump HVV will clean hit, normal grounded HVV will clean hit. There's a whole list of things that change this, but for the most part, you can do jump HVV versus pretty much everyone but Happy Chaos and get it to clean hit. It's a fuck ton of damage, and I use this a lot. I think it's important to know. You can win entire rounds of just hitting your opponent with tap dust. I cannot block dust all the time, as they would say. And if they do say that, a lot of people are good at reacting to tap dust, but you get a mix-up still after they block if you spend the 50 bar. You PRC forward, and you do dash close slash, and with the dash momentum, carries over enough dash momentum to do an additional close slash without losing to throw. So you can do close slash, and still beat throw. Another quick combo to talk about, routing choice. I see a lot of people do DP. Normal RC is leaving a lot of damage on the table. You can do about very similar to this on pretty much everybody. And it's just DP, fast RC, close slash, dash under, 5, or JD. This jumping JD, falling JD, I'm pretty sure can also be circumvented with just air dash. But if not, this works. and it does a shit ton of damage. Yes, it's on chip. However, it's still approximately 240 on pretty much everybody. Much better than doing normal realm and cancel. I think everyone should have this in their arsenal. There's no reason to not, personally, use this. So a lot of souls still do stuff like 5k dash 5 or 5k jump cancel. And I was talking about it today, specifically with why you probably just shouldn't do it. 5k jump cancel, 5k or JK, air dash, JK clean hit. It's like okay, and it's easy, and it's been on our hands for a long time, but there's no real reason to not, if you're going to jump cancel, do JS. In JS, this is an optimal, is already better confirm. 173 on soul. But regardless, we should be using stuff like dash. Dash is plus on block. If you're already committing to 5k anti-air and they block it, dash is plus on block. And you can do an easy routing, which this video was recorded months ago on the patch. Easy routing, JS, JD, and you're in the corner, you're getting your positive. It's way better. Easy routing again, just a little bit further out of the corner. 5k, run under 5k, car revolver. 5k, JD, JD. And actually, that looks like it's just normal revolver. Yeah, just normal revolver. Car revolver would work in the instance where they're further from you. Sort of like this. This version here is, there's a cursed hitbox with the 5k dash under 5k where you hit with the back hit of your soul's butt and you get nothing. It's awful. All you have to do to circumvent that is delay the 5k longer when you dash, because you have all day. And now that you've delayed it longer, they're even lower. The car revolver will never whiff. So you do car revolver, and then you have a bunch of enders depending on where you are on the screen. For instance, here I think I do 5k dash 5k car DP. Yeah, because it goes corner to corner, clean it into manually time safe jump. I do this manually time safe jump a lot. It's just dash ID. Yeah, and then you know the whole world. You get it. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is the single most important confirm, in my opinion, of this patch. At least the one that I've labbed the most, and the one that I've contributed to the most. And so let's watch a little bit of robbery, okay? Because I'm going to win this round. He messed up. 5H, meter, non-counter hit. About, what, 80% life? He's dead. He's dead. Even if this was riskless, even if this was significantly less risk, they were still dead for 50 bar. So let's watch. As you can see, they're dead by a lot. Okay, so let's talk about it a bit. The first component of the combo, hit confirm and a revolver. Faster C down, airborne HVV. Allows you to get the 5k pickup. It's a link. Secondly, this is a Tiger Knee revolver. It is one of the main components that is most important to maximizing the damage of this confirm. Without this, you have to do 5k 6s gunflame, 6h, and the 6h ender is rather inconsistent. So it is an education barrier, and then it is 5k car DP. It needs to be car to clean hit. And he's dead. I robbed him of that round because I knew this combo. Granted, I think you might argue that there was a chance I could have killed him with revolver into faster CJD or something. It would have been close without a Tyrant Rave. Regardless, I have a couple more clips that this works from, because it's not just 5H. It is not just 5H at all. For instance, it works from 2S. Works from 2S. Works from far slash. So here we go. Whiff punish on the 6P into the combo. And that'll be the formula for this single hit button into revolver. And now here is the easy version that does 10 less damage. But the 6H wall splatting is inconsistent. It doesn't always wall splat, and sometimes they'll get knocked down. So that's why I don't do this version. And lastly, you have the 6S version. Thing to note is that this combo works on 2S counter hit as well. This is the max damage you can get from a 2S counter hit in the corner. You still do this route. Now, the last thing I really want to talk about, there's a decent chunk more stuff that I think is really important to know. But in terms of important combos on this patch, I think this video covers a decent majority of them. There's so much nuance and things I could talk about, like Fafnir Blue RC mix, or making sure you have safe jumps from all your HVVs, talking about the nuance of the safe jumps and how Soul can't OS throw from them, or the risk he takes OSing backdash, all of that offense stuff, Fuzzy from close slash, there's a bunch. But in terms of base combo theory on this patch, I think this video did a decent job covering it, but I wanted to just talk about a little bit about raw revolver. This is very hit confirmable with 50 bar. It is even revolver 2. You can do normal PRC here, and this still combos. I just did PRC forward, and you get a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. This works on everybody for the most part. So what I mean by for the most part is heavies are exempt from raw revolver stuff. So these single buttons into revolvers doesn't work on heavies. And you might be thinking, man, that sucks. Can't do it versus Gold Lewis, Nago, Leo. True. However, it is really worth it in the other matchups. You can still cash out in other ways versus them, but it's really important to know this. And the thing to note is that on Revolver 2 counter hit, you actually do get a full combo on heavies, even off this. So it's heavies kind of the doom of Soul's double HVV existence, but you still get to murder them in some regards. Like versus Leo, when you saw with under slowdown with the close / counter hit, you can still get Tiger Knee HVV. So if someone throws in your face and you somehow get the magical confirm where you do dash close shots TK HVV versus Nago, it's doable. But other than that, if you have any questions about any routing or anything in particular you want to reach out and specifically ask, whether it be the mix I mentioned earlier or any resources that I think are important, if you want to know any or just my thoughts about something random, you can either put it in the comments, you can DM me on Twitter, my DMs are open. Even on Discord, you can DM me. Will I respond? Probably not. I'm a very antisocial person in that regard. It's very hard for me to go out of my way and respond to DMs. But when it comes to Twitter and stuff, I typically respond. And I think there's a chance that I make a nuanced video regarding the topics that I mentioned. Stuff like the safe jumps, stuff like your Oki options from these safe jumps, the Fafnir RPS for meaty Fafnir, chasing backstep, the combos that lead from that, etc. But for now, I think this covers a decent amount of what I aim to cover, and thank you for watching. And I hope that you can kill people with these new routes. Enjoy.